mean, and this is one of the topics that I'd really love to dive into with you today is I'd love to figure out with you if there are any kind of overlaps, sort of powerful overlaps between DMT entities and super aware lucid dream figures. I've never taken DMT, so I'm totally reliant on you to to provide that side of things. But I've had like really way out experiences in lucid dreams, in out of body experiences, where I've encountered beings that appear to be super intelligent, almost, godlike, really. They know way more than I do, and they can transport me into extremely deep states of consciousness, ecstatic states, or cosmic consciousness, or states of complete dissolution where there's no ego self anymore. And sometimes they will download wisdom directly into me. Like one woman I met, they're always really tall as well. They're about 9 feet high. Don't know why. And I often encounter them in white space, so like spaces of light in deep lucid dreaming. Not like regular dreams, we have all this imagery, but just spaces of light, and lucidity is effortless. And in that sense, it's more like kind of like an out of body experience or something completely different. And this one woman I met, she came into this space of light singing. She was very, very tall. And she came and walked around to me. Her song was incredible. It really moved my soul. And when she stood in front of me, her two beautiful amber eyes merged together into like a giant third eye. And then she just suddenly beamed all this wisdom into me, and it held me kind of up into the air like this. I was just floating, and I could see and understand the entire cosmos, the way it unfolds, the remarkable threads that tie it all together, and that I was all part of that as well. And there was no time or space as we normally imagine it. And this experience just held me there for a while. And at the very end, there was this flash of light that came out of her third eye, and it went into my heart. And then I was released from the experience, and I woke up, and I could still feel that light in my heart. And I woke up knowing that we are all made from light. So that's one kind of example of the deep lucid dreaming. Does that resonate at all with any of the entities of or experiences you've had with DMT?
Yeah, what you're describing almost sounds like a profound DMT or psychedelic experience. One of the theories, about DMT. I mean, DMT is not just a drug; it's naturally found in the human body.
Right.
It's found in the blood and the cerebral spinal fluid, and it's found in laboratory animals' brains. And many people think that it's found in the human brain, and that it's released not only during the near-death experience, but that it could be released during the dreaming experience.
Right.
That's why it's especially the quantities of it increase during the nighttime hours, according to one study. So it may be that DMT plays a role in dreaming, and it may be that your natural levels are a little bit higher than most people. But what you're describing certainly sounds like a very powerful psychedelic experience.
Mm.
I've definitely noticed overlap between the entities that people have encountered. The First, let me say that the way we did the research for my latest book is I interviewed dozens of people. I combed the internet looking at experiences people had in not only DMT but with lucid dreaming, with alien abduction phenomena, with near death experiences, with fairy sightings, and we saw this really kind of interesting overlap, which I think leads some kind of credence to the idea that these entities have a genuine independent existence that goes beyond our imagination or our individual dreaming minds. But I think and whether these beings actually have an independent existence or not is really I mean, that's the $1 million question, right? I mean,
What's your answer then, David?
I mean, that's since 1983, I've wondered about that, but, first of all, we don't have a scientific measure of consciousness, do we? I mean, we don't even know. I mean, how do I know you're conscious? I mean,
Right.
how do I know anyone else is conscious? Because the only consciousness I know is my own, really. So it may be a question that we really may never be able to fully answer. But, there's, I'm sure as you're aware, there's different types of characters or beings that we meet in our lucid dreams.
Mm.
Some seem, very simple-minded and almost puppet-like, and they don't seem to have much complexity to their personality,
Mhm.
and then there are others that, that have very complex personalities that we can have, incredible dialogues with. And then as you mentioned, then there's this other class of beings, which we can
Mm.
call the wise being, right? That seem to,
Yeah.
radiate wisdom and seem to know us better than we know ourselves, and, seem to come to teach us lessons and to impart, knowledge to us. And like you said, to help us to download, information where we get this large amounts of incredible information all at once, like like you're downloading a program onto your computer or something, or an update onto your into your brain. But yeah, it's I mean, these are perplexing enigmas that I've wrestled with and played with for decades, and I don't
Mhm.
really have a real good answer for you. It's a question that I asked dozens of people
Yeah.
when I was doing my last book. Um, and and many people report with their DMT experiences that the entities seem realer than real is the quote that people usually come
Yeah.
back with. So whether they're sentient, whether they're actually independent existences is one of the great mysteries that we may never be able to truly solve. But they're doing research now with in London at Imperial College
Mm.
and elsewhere with what they call extended state DMT, where they're putting people out for longer periods of time.
Right.
And this is the hopes that maybe people could come back with, new scientific theories, or maybe the entities could share, information with us that we don't currently have, and that would lead credence to the idea that they truly are independent entities. And
Yeah.
maybe that's not even the right question to ask whether they're independent. Maybe they're part of our own mind, but maybe our mind extends, beyond our brain. Maybe maybe the universe really is one big mind.